Oh, okay, someone recording. Thank you.
The recording, don't talk.
All right, so last week we talked about this little thing, right, called masking. Right? If there's nothing, like if there's the photo, I have nothing in there, right? When you do masking, it showed up all this selection. It's easy, you can understand masking basically is the way to select certain portion of the photo. It's a selection tool. It's not like editing. It's just like how you select. Now, last week we talked about subject select. This is a new one. So when you do a subject select, see how, can you see that the green? Right now you can change it to red. Right, when you click this icon, see, Photoshop is no, and Adobe is pretty good now. When you click on subject selection, it's automatically selection of the subject. So now you can, based on the subject, when it's selected, you can do all kind of things. For example, you can change the white balance and then, the brightness, all kind of stuff. Right? And it's just like you normally do. So basically, masking is the selection tool. So the way that how you're going to select it. Right? So this is one select thing. Now, if you want to do it, all right, I can click on that. How about select the sky? Right. See, Lightroom Adobe is very good. They can select the sky, no problem. But can you see that right over here? Now, it's not that good because it just select a little bit more with all this thing, right? Even if they're the person, if you want to do it. But what can you do if you want to correct it? Now, under this is the sky, selection sky. Can you see this? Add or subtract. Now you can, when you subtract, you hit subtract. They said what tools you want to subtract it. I can use the brush. When I do the brush, when I can make it smaller, see that? When I, can you see that the color disappear? Right. That means I subtract it. Subtract the selection from the sky. Right. Second. See? Now you can make it smaller and subtract this person now. Right. And a major key, you want to make sure that is just find adjustment. We said side find adjustment. No, they don't have that thing. So auto mask is right here. So when you select it, it's pretty much select the edge, right? And it just like you can see that you can just, it's time consuming. So now you pretty much take out all this, right? So now the sky is picked up. So you can say that, all right, let me make the sky a little bit, yellowish. All right, you can change the sky, the color. All right, you can change the brightness, right? And you can, let's see, clarity, right? And see, right? See that? You can just do whatever you want to just change out the sky. So this is the selection. Now, when you do the mask one, this is the person, this is the sky. So basically, last week we talked about this two item, delete all item. So last week we talked about like select the subject, sky, and also the brush. Brush is simple. When you hit the brush, you just whatever you want. I just, all right, I select this area. I select this area. I select this area and whatever you want to do. So the brush is pretty much for that. So now let's talk about a little bit more about this thing. Now, when you see that the brush, the mask, they call the first one is the mask is the brush. I think I mentioned to you before, subtract and add. You're already painting this, right? So it doesn't matter. You already is an added to it. So now the only thing we're using, you subtract. Now, when you do the right mouse, can you see that? Or right mouse, you can rename all this thing or delete it, right? If I delete this mask one, I can delete it, right? Let me just select subject. Let's say there's one, and then I add auto, then I select the sky. Right. Now, if I have this one, you see the three dot, if I'm in here, you see the duplicate a mask, right? I can duplicate and invert. What is that doing? That means I duplicate another layer of this two person, but instead of select this person, I select the other side. We can do it. If that can do it, we can just decrease the darkness of that. So that is one of the trick. Sometimes we just use it is the word invert. Also, it is doing the trick. So under this, you can, all right, if I don't want this, I want to, this eyeball, that means I turn off it. I turn off it. I can turn on and off. So you can see what is the difference. You can just turn it on and off. So you can rename it. Most of the time, I don't care. Most of the time, I just use it as duplicate or duplicating word, right? The high, and then everything, it's just this eyeball. So today, let's talk about two more things, right? If I reset this, let me delete everything. Now, for a picture like this, right? So now you know the subject, the focal point is about this area, right? Now, is it too bright in here? Simply it's a little bit too bright. So now how we can do it to like make it darker? When we do masking, can you see this linear gradient? What linear gradient is? You can hold a mouse and draw the line. Can you see that it's much darker in here and then lighter in here? So this one like a dimmer light. So now let me see if I dim it. Can you see this? Let me more. It will make it darker at this point, and then less darker, and brighter, something like that. So that is called, and when we do the mask, you can see it like this. So it's more effect on this side than this side. So now we can do this and lower it, dimmer, and then now you can, it's a shadow, also it is a dark. Now highlight is also the dark. Now you can see before and after. The purpose of that is you don't want to draw the attention of the audience. Usually the bright spot, we draw people attention. You do this, you just try to lower it. Now, another one is, all right, you might be thinking this one is a little bit darker, right? So you can just, when you add it, call linear gradient. You can do this from here. Now, when you do left and the right, you can turn it, right, an angle, and they do it. Now in this one, now you can just turn up a little bit, right? Yeah, and then you can, all right, make it turn a little bit. I want you to know brighter a little bit, right? See that? Why we are using this linear instead of course, we can use a brush, right? If you use a brush, you can't make it like so even. Linear is pretty much like a lighting, just flashing on the light. So you can just do that and then make like the lighting, it's just like darker and then less darker, or maybe just brighter, 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 less bright, or something like that. So it's a two different way to do it. So this is called linear gradient, is the whole section. Now we can also do the sky, like if something like this, right? And I can show you, right? Now let me reset everything. Now delete all mask. Now we can do it, and then I just call linear gradient. I can do this, boom, right. And I just make it brighter a little bit. Can you see that? I can make it brighter. Right. It's different from you use a brush, so I can make it a little bit brighter, right? And I can make the highlight. So it's just all this section. I can make a clarity a little bit. We can make it more contrasty. Right. So this is linear gradient. Now another one is called, to have it. I think, okay, this is pretty good. Oh man. Now when you look at this one, and then you see the difference. Oh, see the difference, and before, after, right? You see the difference in that? It just pop up and then draw audience attention. So now let's delete all mask. Now, you know that this is a little bit bright in this area. And this, of course, you can do linear gradient and then try to do it and make it darker a little bit. Right. Now, another one, what is called, let me delete this one, I'll show you this. You see the radial gradient. What does that mean? When you do radial gradient, you just, this is your point, and then hold the mouse and drag it outside. Right? You can make the shape, right? And like this. Now, what does that mean? Now, if I select this, right, I can make it brighter. See that? I make it darker. But most of the time, when I do this, I will just invert. You see that? Is the outside invert, and that, and then I just lower it the outside. Can you see that? It's pretty much like pop up the inside, make it more attractive. So you just lower it a little bit, and then that way we bring it brighter. Now another one, so you can use it. I use a brush. Now let me see. We do 50. Right. I can just, all right, a little bit in here. Now let me turn on the light. You see that? You can turn on the light on this one. So you can just, oh, a little bit. All right. Oh. And then just a little light touch, right? And then what you can do, each minute. Now, if it's too much, you can make a flow a little bit, make it larger. Like a little bit, or maybe if I don't like it, I just use it. This is pretty much when we Photoshop, we call it dodge and burn. Now you can put another one and then the brush, and then instead of bright, I can make it darker. So now you can just some of the area, and then whatever is darker, you just create the contrast, right? See that? It's just a little bit. So that's the way you can make the photo pop. Now, if I feel it, because this right now I'm the mask free, I am the dark one. I can just like, all right, dark it. Let me just dark it a little bit, right? I can just brush it, dark it a little bit like this. So now you can see that before and after. Okay. Before and after. Okay. You can see it before. So this one is already pop up quite a bit, the color. When you do the even the pepper, is it more the color pop up, because when they darker, usually the color pop up. So that is one of the way we can use it, the linear gradient and radial gradient, or something like that. So that's the two things we can do it. I know this one, actually I'm using HDR, but if you something like that, if you just one photo, you can also do it. Right? Linear gradient here, turn on the light, and then you can use the brush to brush a little bit and make it brighter. Okay, this area is brighter. Okay. Something like that, make it brighter. I don't know whether I have a photo now. This one, and it's, you know, so I think that's one of the trick. I don't have the photo with the sun. Let's see what I can create the sun if I do the brush. Make it. Now you can do the radial gradient. You can make a light beam. Okay. And then duplicate. I think duplicate. Which is a little bit more work. Okay. Can you see that? You can lower the opacity of the image. So, and then make it like a sunlight, the light beam. And then we do the amount. further, and then the amount. I do it lower. The amount, you do it lower.
Carrie, you need to speak a
Yeah.
little louder.
Oh. Okay. Is it better now? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So the amount. So that way, of course, I just do it quick. And then that's how you can create a light, a sunlight beam. So this is one of the ways you can use radial gradient. This one, I think I also use radial gradient. No, I didn't use it. So I can use radial gradient and pretty much just pop up this noodle. I do invert and then darker the background. Right? And then I just normally I can just write up the whole thing. So this is one thing. And then I think I using this one. And all this thing actually is all. I don't have it. So I can use this brush. Okay. Okay. Draw people attention. So this is what we learned so far. When we that linear gradient, radial gradient, that's we learned these two and the application of that. Now left behind there are two more selection. A little bit color range. Simple color. And let me see. No, this is color. Now, if I select color range, there is a dropper. Now, boom. See, it select all the green. So that means now when the green, you can change the color, the brightness, you can change the temperature. Now you can select this one. It just whatever color. If it's yellow, right? So simple enough. The color range, it just if you do the white stuff, blue, it just whatever color on the drawing. You just select and create it. Color range, boom. It just select the blue. Just select the yellow, and then simple enough. So the last one, this one, I think a lot of the when you do landscape, a lot of the people we talk about luminous range in Photoshop. They are a little bit more complicated when you do Photoshop, but in here, it's a little bit easy. Now, just pay attention. It's a little bit complicated. When you do luminous range, what luminous means, when you pop up this, wow, geez, a lot of this stuff. What does that mean? Now, the purpose of that, you see the right-hand side is the brightness, and the left-hand side is the darkness. Now, if you say, all right, just take out all the bright stuff. Can you see that? When you do all this thing, so Lightroom automatically select from the photo the darkest spot. Right. So now, if it's a photo like this, right? Let me see it. If it's a photo like this, you just feel that, all right, this is a little bit too dark. And then you just want to bright up the line. If you use a brush to brush it, and then all the branches is, you can't, brush it good. And then also even detection, auto detection, the edge is not that good. So that's why when you do landscape, it's a lot of the time because it's so clumpicated close to each other, it's hard to select it. So that's the only thing we can use is called luminous range. So now if we select this, we just say, all right, so select the dark spot, the darker. So now you see that when you do, you can do 100% would be nothing. So now it really depends how you want it. You might be, all right, I think that's good enough in here. So now you can see that it's automatically detect the darker range. So now after that, you can say that, all right, let me brighten it up a little bit, right? Of course, when you do too much, it just over. So I think you just brighten up a little bit, and then you can do the shadow. Now, and then the white. But the only thing it's in it. So you can do, this is another one you can do luminous, great, luminous range. Now, if the other one, you just push it, show me the, only the bright spot. Then this is the bright spot. Right, you can make the, move it to it, right? You can also narrow it to it. So this is flexible, you can do whatever. So now it's automatic select the bright spot. Now you can just like, all right, make it darker. I'll make it like contrasting more. See, so this is luminous range. This is how they can select the different brightness of a photo. All right, so see that we show the range, and in this one, show the range. This is what you select. You can keep changing, whatever. Right. So that's pretty much what we cover with masking. Right. And then the last one, we really we don't use a lot. Let me reset it and then show the last one. The depth range, you can see that it's pretty much grayed out. You cannot work on it. What's that for? A lot of time it's a cell phone photo. When you do cell phone photo, you can use the depth range, like the depth of field. You know, depth of field, the range, you can use it for the selection. But those pretty much is for cell phone photo. For normally photo, that's why it doesn't show any of those. So, and pretty much when we do all this, we show that the masking will already cover all this: subject, sky, brush, linear gradient, radial gradient, color range, and luminous range, and cover everything for masking. So, any questions so far? Otherwise, this pretty much cover everything on Lightroom. You guys should be expert, very good on Lightroom now, right? I guess just need more time to practice. And any questions? If it's no question, that's pretty much we can call for the day. What I have in here? Oh, maybe I show you the two more things in here. Now, I think when you do this, right, let me reset it. Reset this one. When we select all this thing, right, let me do the brush, right? Can you see this? Right, let me see it, like the teeth. I just, now this is masking is selection, the selection tool. Right, now you select it and then you can do whatever you want to change it. But there is something in here called custom. You see all this thing, what is that? It's kind of like a preset. Right. Let's say why I select a thing. Right. If I don't have it, right, you can see it. Let's see. The teeth, right? It's a little bit yellowish. Right. If I want to white it, what can I do? When I select this, I just need to bright it, right? Is that you got the bright teeth, but you don't want to know over too much. The other thing is saturation. When you do the black and the white, you see that? Now you can whiten the teeth. That is one of the tricks you get. And then they have a preset, call it like I think Dodge and Burn. Before I can you finish soft skin, you see the teeth whitening. When you hit this, it's a preset, and the actual exposure, and then the saturation, the brightness, it changed. You see that? That is it. Now I can just create another the brush, right? And then now I can change the to green, so easy to spot, right? No, I just make a mistake on this one. I just really like, so now I just select the lip. Now I can do all the way down color. Right. See that? I can make all different color of the lipstick. Right. I can use red. Right. And I'm not good in makeup. You can just when you do this, you can do the color. See that? You can just increase whatever the olive. Maybe I brush a little bit more. See that? You see that? If I go, I just a little more, a lot. So you can see the concept. You can change, you can add the color, whatever. This is how you can make, right? Whatever you want, you can do makeup on that thing. So that is one of the way that masking can do on this one. You change the color of the eyeball, whiten the eyes, something like this. All right, so I think that's covered editing for masking. Any questions? If there's no question, we can stop for the day, call for the day. So, yeah, where is the
The question, unmute yourself.
so is so just share the screen.